Okay, this tarot card reading is for the king who's had their heart broken. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I've already pulled these cards because I drew from the feminine perspective. So I was drawing initially on the feminine energy within the dynamic and kind of seeing their perspective on things. And then I realized upon reflection that the feminine energy has done something that I personally cannot condone and do not support. And so rather than scrapping the entire video entirely, I want to focus on the masculine energies who have been on the receiving side of this poor behavior, these poor choices that this feminine energy has done. And we're going to go from there. So the card's already laid out. I do want to go ahead and share with you, I'm just going to share the oracle card that came out for the feminine perspective, or for the feminine energy, just in case you can relate to it as well, because these are not always binary, right? There's a lot of overlap. So I'm going to share it just in case it feels like something you can relate to as well. So the oracle card for this reading had to do with mistakes. And it says, allow me to know that it's okay to make mistakes. Let me always take care of the inner child so he or she feels loved no matter what. So that's the oracle card. Now we're going to discuss in this reading, this is backwards, but we're going to take a look at the situation, what's going on, the observable factors that impacted it, the hidden factors that impacted it, and then the past, present, and most likely futures. What I want to do, since I have already laid this out and looked at it, I want to go ahead and set the stage so that we can better discuss what these energies are looking like and feeling like. So we have the Queen of Swords came up as the situation. So this is showing someone that has boundaries up. You know, she may be kind of cold and removed. She may be open to communication, but it's not going to be very heartfelt communication. It's going to be keeping you, at arm's length, not being very open about feelings, just like logistical things. And I would say abrupt, curt conversation. So that's kind of the way that it's going. And with that situation, I want to talk about the past and the present right now. And then we'll get into what I saw in the future after we've discussed the other energies that are playing into this. So in the past, it shows me that there was quite a bit of emotional stability. I think you really tried to step up and be someone who was emotionally available, emotionally mature. I think you tried to set a tone of emotional maturity within the relationship. I think you tried to be there for her and encourage her to also feel safe and comfortable in expressing her emotions. So I think that was the past in the way that this relationship was going. It probably did have that sense of emotional security and safety within it, for both ways. And you were definitely somebody that helped set that tone for that. But then the present, so what you're dealing with right now, it looks like it took a turn. Because what I'm seeing here in the present is there was some social gatherings that happened or social interactions that led to heartbreak, betrayal. And now everybody's just off on their own, doing their own thing. And she's feeling good about it. And that's, again, when I say I originally pulled from like looking at the feminine energy within the dynamic and trying to understand her perspective. But then what it's looking like to me, based on these cards that came out in the present moment, is it looks like that she was involved with some friends, and then ultimately ended up betraying you in some way, whether that was cheating on you or some form of betrayal occurred. And rather than feeling repentant or bad or guilty, it looks like she kind of just was like, well, I'm going to go live my best life. She kind of broke away, decided to be independent, not really worry about the connection. She's just going to do her own thing. And she seems to be doing well. Like, she seems to be like she's, living her best life, quote unquote. Because this card is about your wishes coming true, right? And that emotional fulfillment and your desires and your hopes and your dreams coming to fruition. So it looks like she's doing pretty good, right? At least in the present moment. That's what it's insinuating. So now that we have discussed what is going on, I want to talk about the energies that are at play. So the energies that I'm seeing at play here, what is very observable for her is that she's in a major transition in her life. And I think the underlying energy that impacted that was this Lover's card. So she had choices. She had a choice to make. I think that she chose to be unfaithful. And I think that that choice to be unfaithful led to the ending of the connection that you shared. And there's no going back after that, right? That's what that death card really insinuates. So it's not inherently a bad card, but what it does show is that things have concluded. They're over. They're done. There's no going back. You can move forward together, but in a new way, or you can move forward separately. So that's a decision that you guys would have to make together. I do think that she saw that this was, I believe that she did value the connection, at least in a deep subconscious energetic way. I think she knows that it did mean something, but she was struggling to see if she could really integrate it into her life and integrate it into her sense of self and identity. And when it came down to it, she made choices that were irreversible. And now your energy, on the surface, you're seeking justice, truth, fairness. Like, you're trying to understand what happened, what's going on, what caused this, and why. Why did she do this? So you're trying to understand, because you had been presenting with this King of Cups energy, like you had been there for her, right? You had tried to be that emotional stability, and then she made these choices. And you're trying to understand what's going on, see it fairly, see it objectively, see it from, like a logical, you're just trying to process it. And you're open to working on things. You would like to try to fix it. Like, okay, did I do something? Is there a way that I could improve? Like, what made you feel like you needed to betray me in this way? Is there something that I could do? I'm willing to work on this relationship. I'm willing to work on us. But she's just responding to that with maintaining those boundaries, keeping the guard up, keeping the wall up. She's not really willing to engage. Now, for the most likely future, based on the current energetic trajectory, so again, nothing is ever written in stone. Energy is extremely malleable, but what this looked at is just the most likely outcome based on the current energetic standards. It's true, where it currently stands. And I get the feeling that you're wanting to reach out to her, that you're wanting to talk to her. You're wanting to extend that offer of communication. But I think that she's really going to be focused on staying in her power, being independent, being fiery. One thing that I noticed when I pulled these cards, and again, I know it's backwards in the front-facing camera, but she is looking away from the offering. So when I laid these cards down, see how her face is turned away? So it's like you're offering this communication, and she is just not really paying attention. She's not really looking at it. She's focused elsewhere right now. Her attention is elsewhere. Her attention is a lot on herself. These are very, this one in particular is like a very independent style card. So she's focusing on other things. She's not really interested in communicating based on my interpretation of the layouts of these cards. So I want to pull I want to pull something for you because, again, keep in mind, this was pulled originally for the feminine energy in this dynamic, and I want to pull for the masculine. I want to do an oracle card pull just for you specifically to see what advice spirit may have for you in this situation, and then we'll see from there what else we may need. So, spirit, what advice do you have for the masculine energy in this dynamic? Okay, so the card that came up, this is the card. It says relationship. And it says, I call in the infinite power of love to take over this union in every way. May it now fully belong to the divine. Let it unfold in the perfect way for each of us. I needn't fear letting go of control. My needs are always abundantly met. I really like this card for you because, like, right now, you're really trying to figure out what went wrong. Why did this happen? What's going on? And you want to fix it. Oh, you want to fix it. You want to. You cared about this person. And you want to show up as the best version of yourself for this person and for this relationship. And you're putting so much pressure on yourself to achieve that. And what I think you need to do instead, what this card is saying, is that release it in love. So I know you probably have a lot of emotions right now. They're probably very strong emotions. You probably have a lot of hurt going on and sadness and betrayal. That Three of Swords, it's tough. It's hard when you're on the receiving end of that Three of Swords. But try to release some of that bitterness, that angst, the feelings of betrayal that you're going through, and try to release the relationship with love. Focus on love, but infinite love, divine love, not necessarily couple love, but divine love. And release it, this relationship, this entire situation, release it fully to the divine. All you have to know is that you can release it. You can let it go. I hope that hasn't been hitting the microphone the entire time. Okay. But yes, you can release it and let it go. And then I want to see if there's any other tarot advice that can come out. This was a wake-up call for you. And you need to focus on your inner stability. So work on stabilizing your internal framework, your internal landscape. Do the things that make you feel stable. Do the things that make you feel stable. And if that's like, especially like if you have, oh, there's a hidden card. Oh, I didn't even see, I didn't even see that one. There was a card hiding underneath one of the other cards. That's funny. Interesting. So the cards that I was looking at in that particular situation was Three of Pentacles. So if you have, um, like a work project or a collaboration that you can focus on, I think that would be very beneficial in helping you to release and move past. And the card that was hiding underneath this was the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is all about listening to your intuition. Listening to your intuition, focusing on your spiritual aspects of self. There's often a lot of things hidden when it comes to the High Priestess. She doesn't come right out and tell you a lot of things straightforward, right? So you have to be quiet. You have to listen, really listen to yourself, your intuition, that little quiet, still voice. It can be hard to hear sometimes, especially if you're not used to doing it, but that would be very useful. And the fact that that came up underneath the Three of Pentacle cards makes me think that it's related to that card. So in your collaborative effort, whether that's a work project or something that you're just doing, any sort of collaboration with somebody, listen to your intuition on that, pay close attention, and see how you feel guided to proceed in that situation. And then the last card of advice was the Chariot, which is about setting your sights on what you want and moving forward towards that. So that is Spirit's advice to you. I think deep down you know that this situation has concluded with this person, because it was such a wake up call for you. Go live your best life, King. Go live your best life.